unfortunately, and we're so lucky that we have so many platforms that do give us that much freedom. Like, I think YouTube and Instagram are probably the best examples of giving us the most freedom to be able to express ourselves creatively. Can we please do it?
All right.
Okay.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Social Toolkit. My name is Adison Hardyway.
And my name's Leslie Jones, and we are here to discuss how you can open up your creative box. But today, Adison and I are kind of at odds a little. I'm legitimately kind of mad at him. You want to tell them why? You want to discuss that with them?
I think it's more of a I'm right, she's wrong, and she doesn't understand she's wrong.
No!
But we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it civilly. Hopefully nobody gets thrown out of a chair today.
Wait, what? Okay, that was completely off base.
So before we even started filming, we kind of got into a discussion. Me, Leslie, and Andre. He's behind the camera right now. But we started talking about social media platforms and platforms in general that creatives can use, and we had a difference of opinion on which three, if you only had to pick three, which ones we would all pick.
Well, okay, let me also just say, you are totally minimizing that entire discussion. Let's also state that we were deciding topics for today's podcast, wanting to work hard for you guys. And Adison comes in here and he just...
Hold on. I don't know.
Are you okay?
What this brother is doing back there. To start that from the top. Matter of fact, to save your life, go on and kick that thing back in. Say that again. Can you close that?
But so we were trying to work hard for you guys. We're trying to make some good content for y'all. And Adison decides to throw this topic out, and he makes it like, okay, Leslie, if you had to choose three platforms, only three for photographers, mind you. Which three? He said photographers. I don't care what he wrote down. He said photographers, which you think, okay, that's not controversial at all. And then he starts attacking me based on my choices. And he's like, oh, no. Why would you not use this platform? And then he's coming up in here saying that it wasn't just social media, and it also wasn't videographers. So first of all, communication skills are not Addison's strong suit. I've just decided that today. So that's my 2 cents.
You know what? I'm going to be the civilized one here. Maybe she didn't hear me right. We're just going to let me say that. So the question is, if you had three platforms to choose, not just social media, just three platforms in general, that you were going to utilize as a photographer or videographer, either or, what would those three be? So do we want to just start off by saying what our three will be, or do we want to go one by one?
I think let's just nail the three, and then we can, And
do we want to say 2019, or do we want to just say in general? I think
in general, because social media is changing all the time, and obviously you guys know that we're talking about current things. So I think we can just keep it current. But
what if somebody like 20 years down the line watches this, and the most popular thing is Yazulu or something?
Well, let me just say this.
Hey,
one,
if you use Yazulu, I want my referral free, trademark free, whatever it is. I'm gonna need that. So
give us our copyright fee. But if YouTube is still alive in 20 years, then that's gonna be revolutionary. That needs to be a whole segment. How long social media will last? I think if I had to choose my top three, 100% Instagram, 100% Facebook, and 100% your own website. 100%.
I feel like that was slightly different than what you said prior, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, so those are your three. My three would be YouTube, in no particular order, by the way.
Yeah,
YouTube,
no particular order.
Instagram, and your own website.
So we just disagree on one.
You said Facebook, was it?
Yeah. Which I will say, before the podcast, I was debating about that. So I'm not going to sit here and lie on the podcast. But after I thought about it, I think it's really important. More important than YouTube. Because of hits and advertising. And the amount of people that you can hit via Facebook versus the amount of people you can hit on YouTube are so slim. Like YouTube is a lot more of a segmented audience. It's great for videographers a lot of times, but even still, like, for example, you guys are super talented. I'm not on the videography side of the team. So the videography
Not
team,
yet, but it's coming soon. Our skills are going to get there.
we'll see. That would be dope. But so they're great for you guys, right? A great place for you guys to house your content, a great linking place. But you guys don't get that many hits on your videography posts, and you would think that you would, right? Because YouTube is known for videos. It's the second largest search platform on the planet. Google is the only thing that beats them. You would think it would be huge, but unfortunately, as far as advertising and things like that, it is extremely difficult and actually really hard. But Facebook, it's so great to be able to target your audience, and especially for local videographers and local photographers, you can nail down specifically, I want this age segment from this geographic area, and I want this many people to see this at this time, and I'm doing this for engagement, and because of this, I'm going to pay this amount of money and promote it. Boom, done. YouTube allows you to do the same thing, but you just don't get nearly as many hits. The only way you can start gaining a platform and gaining subscribers is by consistent posting, but that puts you in a different category. Are you a YouTuber or are you a photographer, videographer? You know, normally those are two separate jobs. So I think they do different things.
Got you. To my knowledge, we don't have any paid sponsors yet. But how much did Facebook pay you to fanboy?
Okay, first of all, none. Second of all, let me just say this, because I will say I used to hate Facebook. I'm not even ashamed to admit it. I used to hate it so much until, thank you, Dr. Gardner, WKU, if you watch this. You probably don't, but if you watch this, you're welcome for this free promotion. But it really is the largest platform, and you can reach the most people. So you kind of, it's, if you're not using Facebook, it's kind of like where you're at. When it eventually dies, then maybe we can finally move on, because there are so many problems with Facebook. I think it's way too personal. But I mean, we're not talking about like the negativity of platforms today. But I think as far as, you have to use it. It's one of those things that, like, you are missing the largest group of people on the planet if you don't use it.
So I'll also put this in here. The three that we chose are not to say that we don't enjoy the rest of them, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's just like, and ours may be different just because of, our personal preference. But me, I do a lot of video stuff, so I made me be more biased to YouTube, in particular because of the analytics.
Oh, yeah.
So aside from the fact, if you're just a regular user on Facebook, if you post something, you're not going to get analytics that don't necessarily tell you what you can improve upon, or what is really reaching your audience more. The only way you can pretty much tell is by how many comments or likes you get on that.
Which is really annoying, because you don't even get views.
Yeah,
like you don't even get views on Facebook, which is really frustrating. Now, once you get into business,
when you have a business account,
then
page, you have a little bit more flexibility as far as analytics and stuff goes. But I still feel like for video stuff, YouTube still blows Facebook away as far as the analytics.
I agree with that on analytics. I think the difference is, are you looking at it for a smaller audience but trying to see what they like and don't like, or are you looking at how many people can I reach? Because YouTube just takes so much more work. I mean, we've even seen it just from posting on the podcast and trying to get the podcast out there. Like, there's a lot of bulk work that you have to go into to even get anything seen on YouTube platform, because YouTube just doesn't do great in-house on their algorithm as far as just like getting content seen, because it's about the length of the video and the video quantity, not quality. So their algorithm is not great. Like, we complain about, at least like I get annoyed with the YouTube algorithm all the time, because it's so different than any other. So you have all these incredible creators that put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of editing into these videos, and they're beautiful. They're like pieces of artwork. And I love vloggers. I'm not hating on them. But then on the other hand, you have these vloggers, and like some of them I watch, like I'm not hating on them. But like, for example, like Trisha Paytas is like this huge vlogger, ridiculous. But like, she doesn't even edit. Yeah. And she'll just like throw them up there, and she gets put on the trending page all the time. And like, and you have these artists that don't, just because they don't meet the traditional criteria of YouTube, which is annoying. So it's just a lot harder for anyone to get started on.
So, and that actually leads into my other point of why I put YouTube in my top 3, because as creatives, you have to constantly grow and
Yeah,
change
that's
and
true.
learn. So there is a ton of, even if you're not looking at it from a uploader or content creator's perspective, just the knowledge that you can get from it, just different people's tutorials and videos, which are very in-depth and free. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of sites out
freedom.
there that you can, pay a subscription to, and get some pretty dope content to learn how to do a particular trade. But YouTube is another reason, as far as being able to grow and build for free.
You kind of have to work harder. You have to work harder on YouTube. So to get to the level that you want to, you do have to put in the effort, which is good because it sets you apart from all of your competitors and everyone else, because it's really easy for you to just throw things on Facebook and advertise, and which is why it's good for starters. But I think once you get to the level of you're getting a lot of consistent clients and work, then I think going into YouTube and some of these other content, they take more time, but they're normally worth it. Like, YouTube's so worth it. I love YouTube a lot. I don't want to hate on it.
I like Facebook a lot as well, but I typically use Facebook outside of the business stuff. I typically may use it just to see what, like, family or something is doing.
It's
and
a lot.
I typically see, and it also seems like those are the posts that get a lot more traction on my Facebook. Maybe if I post something more family oriented, as opposed to if I post something that my business is done on my personal page.
Right. Facebook is difficult because a lot of people don't use it in the way that it was originally intended and the way the algorithm works. So if you look at the Facebook algorithm, it's incredible, really, because you have the ability to narrow down and choose your audience in such a way that's almost like scary good, right? So like that's where you get into the whole privacy thing, and it's too much of my personal content being leaked, and that's how I'm getting these specific ads that are tailored for me. And everyone has different opinions on that. But if you look at the algorithm itself, it's great. The problem with Facebook, I think, is that it gets abused. Like, the system as a whole gets abused, and you also have to deal with the noise of your friends. So you have to think about Facebook outside of the realm of personal page, right? So if I'm looking at my personal page, I can only access the people that I'm friends with. So that's totally different than when you have a liked page and you're doing anything promoted, because once you do promoted posts, you can reach all of those friends and all of those people that your private page might not be able to access, if that makes sense. But even still, you still have to deal with, one, sometimes your stuff can come across not as professional because it's just being thrown in all of these directions, all these places. And you also have to deal with the fact of, like, everybody's grandma, everybody's mama, like, commenting, sharing. And, like, on one hand, that's amazing. I love you, grandma. But, like, on the other hand, you have these paragraphs of just drama and chaos and, like, this makes no sense, and why are you, like, direct messaging me? Like it.
Gotta get your popcorn out.
People don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So
sometimes I get my popcorn out and just read through the comments sometimes.
Yes. and people will post things that you're like, why in the world would you ever post that?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what you're dealing with. It's almost too personal and too in-depth that you might have struggles there. But if you're wanting to get started and you're wanting to reach a huge group of people, and you're wanting to do that at a low budget, you're wanting to do that easily,
no doubt,
and not have to worry about, like, editing for a specific other platform, you can throw up all of your incredible stuff up there. Just make sure that you put logos and stuff so people don't steal your stuff. But
yeah, no doubt. And we've talked a lot about, Facebook and YouTube. So now let's segue to one that we had similarity on, which was Instagram.
My fave.
Instagram, I like Instagram a lot just because they have been able to adapt a lot to what is going on. So initially it was just kind of photo based. Then they implemented videos. Then Snapchat came out and they had stories. Then Instagram adapted again, and now they have Instagram stories. And I tend to sway more towards companies who can adapt and kind of grow and build and see what people are kind of latching onto.
Yeah.
And also I use Instagram a lot, aside from just connecting with other creatives and things of that nature, and clientele too. We like to follow our brides and, stay involved in their lives as well on our Instagram platform. But from an inspiration standpoint, there are some pretty amazing accounts on there that follow us and constantly keep us inspired. Me in particular inspired.
Totally.
Give us a lot of ideas as well. So what are some things that you like about Instagram?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I love the fact that Instagram is one of the only platforms that has been able to keep their identity while also being willing to be hustlers, and they always change. So like not only do they have Instagram stories, but they also have been able to go in and to compete against YouTube. They've done the whole IGTV thing, the Instagram like TV situation, which that one people are controversial on, but you have to pride them on being willing to say like, I want to do this. I want to compete against that.
Speaking of IGTV, do you feel that people who are still uploading horizontal videos to IGTV are doing it wrong?
Well, I think the thing about horizontal videos on IGTV is that it's like annoying. Because then you have to rotate and turn. I don't necessarily think it's the worst thing in the world. I totally understand you're trying to get your content out there, but it's not for what it was originally intended. So it's not that it's not going to be set up well for you. It's not going to be great for you.
That are still horizontal on a platform that I feel like is pushing towards vertical video.
Yes, and that's why it was created that way. So IGTV was literally created, here's your box, like your phone box, like an Instagram story or like a Snapchat story. And they took it and said, let's extend the time and do a blend. And it's really cool when you think about it because it's easy access. It's great for influencers and vloggers to be able to talk to their audience on a quick and intimate level, while also being able to edit and not have it be live.
Yep.
So I kind of think if you're going to use a platform, use it for what it's intended for, unless you feel like it can be more successful the other way, but don't be lazy. And I kind of think that that's the thing. It's like, IGTV isn't really a way of advertising. It's a way of creativity, and it's a house for you to be able to do more. So you can't really go to I'm not going to go to IGTV to find YouTube videos. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like I'm going to go to IGTV to watch IGTV videos.
And it's not built that way either.
No.
So it's not like you can just type into the search how to get better in videography and you're just going to get a long list of videos.
It's connected through the actual company or videographer, and you have to go through to that. So you have to enjoy the person for it to work. Which I think is awesome. I love that. But I think some other things on Instagram that I love are the fact that with their algorithm, they've been able to take the best of what Facebook does. So you can access so many people, but they don't do it to a point where it's so personal that it's crazy, or so segmented where you can't access anyone or where you can't reach anybody. You can access so many people on Instagram. And it also, I love the fact that when you scroll through your feed, it's not filled with ads. But because of the way their sponsored posts look, they still look personal. They still look real. They still look like they're based from an actual company. And so you can easily go from their company to that page.
And much
so
like
it's set
Facebook,
up super well.
They're still in your head because they know how to advertise things that you.
Well, I mean, they're all connected too. Like Facebook and Instagram are basically owned by the same situation. So.
And you'll see that a lot, especially when you're going into paid promotions. You'll see you have the option to
post on both, which is awesome. I love the fact that they're synced.
Got you. So yeah, Instagram is great. The analytics on the back end, if you have like a business page, are pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool as well. I wouldn't say they're better than YouTube, but it gives you general information that is definitely necessary to use. Yeah. Outside of that. Yeah, so showcasing, I feel like it could also be an option to pretty much have your portfolio there, like a mobile portfolio.
And one thing I love too for photographers and videographers, and you guys will totally get this. I love the fact that you can't download on Instagram.
Do you think that's coming?
I hope not, because I think that will keep people from posting their most creative stuff. Because you can screenshot. And like that's fine, and like you can tag and flag and things like that. But I love the fact that you can't download the actual HD photograph, because I think like it kind of takes the integrity away from the photographer.
Just mention something that would be cool to be implemented on YouTube as well: the tagging feature. Yeah. So if you could tag, maybe you can. So if I'm wrong about this, somebody let me know in the comments. But you can, like, if somebody takes a photo or something like that, you can tag them on that photo on Instagram or something like that.
You can't tag specifically on YouTube, but you can tag. You can do like similar interests, but you can't tag people.
I thought there was a feature where you could put collaborators on the channel or somehow feature them, but
you can put them in the bio. Like you can link them below, and you can link them in cards in your video. But I don't think you can actually put them in your channel. But you can put whatever you want in your bio, so you can link to them, but you can't like You can do the card thing now, but you
so
can't.
that way it's easy, like, because you may be on one page, you're like, wow, this is a pretty dope photo of, you know, somebody that I follow. I wonder who took this photo. Hey, bam, right there, click it, instantly go to the next person, and you get to connect with some of their content as well.
Yes.
So that is Instagram. Another one that we have agreed on, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this as well, is having your own website. So the reason I chose having your own website is because we've seen this time and time again. Even though some of the platforms that we named, they could not be here in the next 5-10 years. I think one of the most notable ones that I remember when I was growing up, everybody gravitated towards was MySpace.
Oh, yes.
Everybody was on MySpace.
Woo.
Now, I probably need to go and delete my MySpace page if I still have it. Even though it looks a lot nicer now, you don't really hear anybody talking about, hey, man, add me on MySpace.
Well, just like Vine. Vine died in like 2 seconds.
So
R.I.P. Vine.
I feel like it is a good option as a good backup plan in case there is a social media apocalypse for all of our current favorite platforms that just are no longer there. At least you have a space on the internet to showcase some of your work. The government shuts
down social media.
Something crazy like that. So it's a good place as a backup. And I still also feel like it gives you, it's like your space. You can control how your content is displayed, viewed. You're not under a lot of the stipulations that some of these social media platforms that we already listed have.
Yes. That's kind of where I was leaning on it, because I think when you're an artist, it's about your voice. It's about your work, right? So if you go and you want a famous painting by like Van Gogh or Monet, you're getting a piece of their voice. It's all about them. It's about their work, and you just appreciate them for what they are. Unfortunately, we're so lucky that we have so many platforms that do give us that much freedom. Like, I think YouTube and Instagram are probably the best examples of giving us the most freedom to be able to express ourselves creatively in an internet-based space. But you're still limited to what YouTube wants, right? Yeah. So like, I could post the most incredible YouTube video on the planet that I know is bomb, and YouTube might be like, I'm not going to put it on trending. I don't like it, which is kind of annoying. Like, that's frustrating. And same thing with Instagram. Like, we work super hard, but you can't always control who's seeing your stuff and how many people are going to see via the hashtag that you put in. And yeah, you might have 5,000 followers today, and then you might have 4,566 tomorrow, you know, and like, it just happens, you ebb and flow. But with your website, it's your voice. It's all about you. It's your space to house, especially if you're kind of like us, and we're all, at least Adison and I, love web development. That's something that we both do. There's so much creativity and artwork that goes into that, which is why it's one of my favorite things that I love to do. Because you get to express yourself the way you view your company, the way you see yourself. And you can say, this is what Sky Studios is. It's huge. That
is a plus. But I know on the flip side of that, there are people who just want to get up and get started, in which social media platforms are good for that. Yeah. And because I will say that websites, you do have to pay for those, right? Unless you use sometimes the extension that the website gives you, like still including Wix at the back of your page name. Or things
which
like
they're still not super ridiculously expensive. A lot of what goes into the cost is paying somebody to develop it and build it for you if you don't know how. And
monthly storage, and also your annual domain name as well. So those are some of the things that you have to purchase on that. And there are a lot of tools, like I mentioned Wix already. There's a WordPress, where you can easily get up and get started and do some drag and drop development. It does take a lot more time than on Instagram, just uploading a picture, posting it, being done with it, or YouTube just uploading a video. They pretty much already have their UIs, which are similar across every channel. The only thing that differentiates those is the content. But for websites, it is definitely a lot more hands-on. And for us, we really like that. For some other people, they may just want to get up and going.
It kind of depends on your maintenance level and where you feel like your creativity shines. So if you feel like your voice is only in your photography, right? It's all about that. And you can use Instagram to give you the pattern, the aesthetic that you want. That's incredible. That's amazing. And also, I think it depends. Okay, are you an influencer that specializes in photography, videography, or are you a local, right? So like Adison and Sky Studios, their videography side of stuff is local in Nash, right? It's in Nashville and surrounding areas. But like, so they're wanting clients that are here.
We're still waiting on somebody to send us out to Africa or London or something like that. Hey, we're definitely interested in going, or Iceland or somewhere crazy.
Ooh, Iceland. Can we go to Iceland?
Europe.
Let's do it. Sky Studios goes on tour.
A wedding tour.
Yes. But so when you're doing on the local level, I think it's really important that you have a website. One, because of credibility, and two, because it gives us the opportunity to say exactly what we want to say about pricing, exactly what we want to say about what we stand for, what we don't, frequently asked questions. It's more like you're buying, like you would be buying clothes or makeup, things like that, right? You want to go to their store. It's the same thing. You know, you're going to see
There's
our
a third one too, I feel like. And
Yeah.
the third one is once they're there, they're not distracted
by anybody else.
Hey, watch this video next, or hey, we recommend this post. Well, like once they're in your world, once they're in your website, they're in your world. Now, in a big grand scheme of things, you're one website on a huge internet. But as far as their eye is concerned, they just see your content, your stuff on Instagram. When you're scrolling through a feed or scrolling through your story, you may like somebody's post, but underneath that is whoever else you're following or whoever else advertised to you. And especially on YouTube, when you're watching a video, they'll pop up similar videos for them to watch, which may be some of yours or which may be a whole host of other different content creators.
But contrasting that, on the other hand, I think if you're more on the influencer side, if you're more somebody that is like, I don't really want to do work for other people, I just want to take like that's more my side, right? So I'm not an influencer. I wish. That would be really dope. But I think for me, I take pictures of what I want to take pictures of, right? If I'm inspired by something, I like the way a specific aesthetic works for me. I'm not looking at it for a client, right? So that's still photography, videography, that's still artistry, but it's different. So for me, having a website might not be the most rudimentary, like the most number one high priority thing for me, because I'm just getting people that are going to come and check my feed once a day. And I'm worried about like getting things increasing, going up, right? So I think that's where social media is huge. And having a website's great. It gives you the opportunity to get bigger photos. I think that's awesome. But it's not as crucial, I think, on that end, if that's more of what people are going for, if they're just wanting to show their art, if they're wanting to kind of show their things. But if you're doing this as you want clients, you love giving back, you love doing work for others, I think that's why a website is huge. It's super important.
And another thing to Instagram, on some of these social media platforms, it's a lot easier to engage with your clientele. They can DM you, things of that nature. Now, of course, on websites, you can have a contact form and they can email you. But just the flow is a lot quicker on Instagram and things of that nature.
It's more immediate.
YouTube used to have direct messages, but they recently just got away with that.
Yes, so they did.
If you don't leave a comment or somehow find their email on About Me, then, you know, it's not as good for just having that direct relationship with whoever it is that wants to speak with you. But hey, I think we did a good job. Nobody got thrown out of a chair today. Those are 3 of our platforms that we like. We definitely are interested in hearing what you all like. Please leave 3 of your favorite platforms in the comments below. Tell us why. And we definitely love to see what some of you people are using specifically as content, as videographers and photographers, what you feel like is most important. Did you have any other final things that you wanted to wrap up and say?
Follow us at Sky Studios Media.
Bang, bang.
All that being said, follow us on social media. And if you do live in the Nashville area, Kentucky area, we are willing to drive a little bit. Please contact us at www.skystudios.net. We would love to book your 2019 wedding engagement video.
Perfect. Yep. All right. Take it easy.
Bye.